Hi, my name is Mrridula Ravindran of class 7. Today I am going to be presenting the topic types of force. So before we move on to types of force, we have to know what force is. So what is force? The basic definition of force is the energy exerted by an object to either push or pull it. Now what is this push and what is this pull? As shown in this diagram, if you go to any shopping malls, complexes, hotels, anywhere, you see two words written on either side of the front door: push, pull. Now what is this? Pushing is bringing the object closer to you, pushing is bringing the object farther to you, and then pulling is bringing it towards you. Now this is a flow chart just to show the types of force and how it can be classified. So force can be classified into two types: contact force and non-contact force. So we have many kinds of contact forces, but we are only going to be looking at few of them today. So in contact forces, we have normal force, muscular force, frictional force and tension. And in non-contact forces, we have magnetic force, gravity and electrostatic force. First we are going to be looking at contact forces. So in contact forces, we are going to be looking at normal forces. So what is normal force? Have you ever wondered how books or anything you keep on a table just stays there? Well, this is because of normal force. So let us consider a plane surface, and if I keep a box on it, it stays on the table. How is this possible? Like I said before, this is due to the normal force exerted by the surface, and normal force is always perpendicular to the surface it contacts. So how you can represent it is by showing normal force is in upward direction, and in case for this, the book also exerts some force. What force, you may ask? That force is weight in downward direction. Now we know what normal force is. Let us move on to the next one. So next one we have frictional force. So again, we keep wondering many things. So this is also another thing I used to wonder. Have you ever wondered how you are able to walk properly on surfaces without slipping and falling? Well, this is because of frictional force. Another example to show frictional force is you can see your hand. The lines between your hands are another example of frictional force. For example, I am able to hold these things because of the lines present in my hands. This is frictional force. So frictional force is like an opposing force, so it can be called necessary evil. Why necessary evil? Well, necessary evil because it is necessary in few places and not needed in few places. So where is it necessary? Like I said, for walking, and if you see the soles of your shoes, you also find some more lines underneath, and your hands. So all of these lines, these are all frictional force. Why is it evil? Well, it can produce, since I said it is an opposing force, it can produce wear and tear and many other things. Next we have muscular force. So as the name suggests, muscular force is the force where we use our muscles. So like I said, due to the frictional force I am able to hold it, right? But how am I able to hold it for a really long time? How am I able to sustain the weight of this duster and the marker? Well, this is because of the force exerted by my muscles. If you go anywhere, whatever you do, if you hold anything, you have to use your muscles to do any single thing you do. So holding this is another example, and doing your other daily work is also another example where you use your muscles. Next we have tension. So what is tension? Now let me consider. So if I have hung a string from this wall, it will be left in a really loose position. But what happens when I add a box or any other weight to it? You can notice that the position of the string has definitely changed. How is this possible? Well, this is because, again, it's kind of like normal force. So this is where you see weight in downward direction again. And instead of normal force, you have the tension, which is the string in upward manner. So that is what tension is. You can take many other examples for this, like about hanging anything or doing many. So there are really many examples. So now we've seen the few types of contact forces. We can't really see all of them today because there are too much. So let us move on to the non-contact forces. So the first non-contact force we're going to be seeing is magnetic force. And again, I wonder too many things. So the other thing I also do is I think, how are iron particles or iron objects, any metals, how are they attracted to the iron? Well, this is because of magnetic force, the attraction or repulsion that arises between electrically charged particles because of their motion. This is magnetic force. So magnetic force, you can also call it like a magnetic field like shown in this figure. But if you keep plastic or anything near, it will not attract because it doesn't follow the rules of the attraction repulsion rule, so just repels it. And then the next thing we have is gravitational force. So what is gravitational force? Everybody would know what gravitational force is, but I will still explain it. So gravitational force, we are all able to stand, we are all able to do everything in a fixed manner. Why? This is because of gravitational force. If there was no gravitational force present, we would all be floating right now, which is what even Newton thought when the apple fell near him. And then the next thing we have is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force can be proven with really fun activity. So what we can do is we can take a comb and then just comb our hair with it for a while, and then when you bring it near a few pieces of paper, you will find that the pieces of paper are attracted to the teeth of the comb. How is this possible? Well, this is possible because the teeth of the comb now exert electrostatic force. You can also try this with a balloon as shown here. So that's all we have for today. I hope you've all understood what types of forces. Thank you.